Pawmi Community Day is almost here in Pokemon Go, and it is featuring a brand new shiny. And by the end of this video, you'll know everything the event has to offer and the best tips to help you make the most of it. So the event takes place on Sunday, May 11th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time. But what exactly does this event have to offer? For the bonuses, Pawmi will be appearing much more frequently in the wild, and they will have boosted 1 in 25 shiny rates. You will get quarter hatch distance for eggs placed into incubators during the event. You'll get 2 times catch candy, 2 times chance for Candy XL. Lures and incense will last for 3 hours excluding daily incense. You'll get some snapshot photobomb encounters with the featured Pokemon. You'll get 1 additional special trade for a maximum of 2 for the day, and all trades made will require 50% less Stardust. And lastly, the evolution requirement from Pawmo into Pawmot will be reduced. Normally you do have to make Pawmo your buddy and walk 25 kilometers with it to do the evolution. But from the start of this event up until the 18th at 8 PM local time, which is 7 days later, you will only have to walk 1 kilometer with it as your buddy to evolve it. And while these bonuses do sound good, there are some ways to make them even better, but more on that later. And evolving Pawmo from the start of the event until May 18th at 10 PM local time will get you a Pawmot that knows the charge attack Brick Break. And I will be getting into how good Pawmot is with Brick Break later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. There will be field research to catch Pawmi that will reward Stardust, Great Balls, and additional encounters with Pawmi. And if you're lucky, you might find some field research that rewards an encounter with Pawmi that has the special Might and Mastery background. And there is a way you can get a guaranteed encounter with Pawmi with the background as well. So starting on the day of the event, you will receive a timed research that will last for a week following the event. Completing these tasks will get you an encounter with Pawmi with the background, and they will have the same boosted Community Day shiny rates of 1 in 25. And these tasks are generally pretty simple to do. You just need to catch a Pokemon on 5 different days following the event. And make sure to keep your biggest Pawmi for Pokestop showcases that will be available throughout the event. And if you do want some extra items for Community Day, there are some bundles available in the in-game shop. For 1350 Pokecoins, you can get these items, and for 480 Pokecoins, you can get these items. You can also get a $2 special research that will get you additional encounters with Pawmi, a premium battle pass, a rare Candy XL, and 3 encounters with Pawmi that have the special seasonal background. This special research ticket will also be available for $2 in a Community Day box on the web store, and you will get an additional 5 Ultra Balls with it. So if you're going to pick up the ticket, you may as well get it from the web store. And there is actually another way you can get a free special research that'll get you some bonus items for the day. So to do this, you need to head to the Niantic Campfire app and check on the map of your local area to see if there are any meetups that are being specifically held by a community ambassador. Then when you get to the meetup, you can check in via the Niantic Campfire app and you will receive a special research. These special researches do differ depending on the type of event you're meeting up for. And for a Community Day in particular, you will be rewarded with 10 Pinat Berries for completing a party challenge. You'll get 5 Ultra Balls for trading a Pokemon. You'll get 5,000 XP for catching 30 Pokemon. And for completing all of these tasks, you'll get 1 Lure Module, 1 Star Piece, and 1 Incense. So honestly, some pretty nice rewards. So I am going to be going through how relevant the event Pokemon are later on in the video. But first, how can you get the most out of all of these bonuses? So with the quarter hatch distance, it is a really good time to be hatching your larger distance eggs, such as 10 kilometers and 12 kilometer eggs, which during this event will be reduced to 2.5 and 3 kilometers respectively. And this will be even less distance if you use super incubators. Also remember that the walking distance for the Pawmo evolution will be available up until the 18th at 10 PM. So make sure you evolve any Pawmo that you want to during this time, because afterwards the walking requirement will go back to 25 kilometers, which will take a lot more time and effort. And whilst there are no XP bonuses for this event, there are still some ways you can make a lot of XP. Firstly, I would highly recommend going for excellent throws because they do give 1000 XP bonus per catch, and with a lucky egg you will be able to get over 2000 XP per catch. Do keep in mind though that you will get more value out of your lucky egg if you wait for Community Days that have 3 times catch XP bonus. So if you don't have many lucky eggs, I would hold on to them until those events. I would also recommend quick catching to increase the amount of Pawmi you can catch in a given time. And it's also worth having a buddy that is at least a great buddy so you can benefit from catch assist, which if you don't know allows your buddy to rebound the Pokeball after you throw it if the Pokemon you're trying to catch knocks it back to you. And even without XP and Stardust bonuses, Community Days are a great time to grind catches. This is basically because there will be more spawns. But why are there more spawns during this event? Well, if you can play somewhere with a large number of Pokestops, then I would highly recommend it, because with the 3-hour Lure Module bonus of Community Day, it means trainers tend to use their Lure Modules a lot more often because they have more value. This means in more densely populated areas, you often get a lot of Pokestops lured up, and this means there are a lot more potential spawns from all of these lures, and therefore you will be able to catch more, get more XP, Stardust, and potentially shinies. So it is for this reason that I would highly recommend stocking up on Pokeballs as much as you can before this event. If you have limited space, then you could probably drop some potions revives and some berries so you can make space for Pokeballs, because this is very much a catch focused event. Stocking up on a lot of Pokeballs, however, could be difficult if you live in an area where there aren't many Pokestops. For this though, I would highly recommend opening the max amount of gifts you can each day leading up to the event. It is also worth using your incense during this event, because again, it will be lasting for 3 hours and it will help keep the flow of Pokemon encounters more consistent if you happen to pass through an area with low spawns during your walk. Also, if you use multiple incense while Community Day is active, you can add an extra 3 hours to your incense per incense used, so it's worth doing this if you know you're going to continue playing after the event ends. Now, as far as adventure effects go, there are actually quite a few options that will help you out in different situations depending on what you want as a player. Firstly, you could use Origin Dialga's Roar of Time adventure effect to extend the duration of your lucky eggs, star pieces and incense that you use on the day. This means you will be able to benefit from those premium items for a lot longer. This, however, does cost 5 Dialga candy and 5,000 Stardust for 6 minutes. Another option is using Origin Palkia's Spatial Rend adventure effect, which will extend the radius of which you can encounter Pokemon. This will help you catch more Pawmi in a given area, and in particular, it could be useful when walking through streets that are parallel to each other, because you might then be able to reach over and catch the Pokemon in those neighboring streets without actually having to walk them. It's also useful for reaching Pokemon in places that you can't normally reach because they are off limits. Now, these are both very useful, but you could alternatively use Black and White Kyurem's adventure effects to help you with catching. Firstly, Black Kyurem's Freeze Shock adventure effect will stop the Pokemon from moving around as much, so you can catch them more easily. It also increases the catch rate of Pokemon by 25%. Alternatively, White Kyurem's adventure effect slows down the catch circle when it becomes smaller. This can help you land excellent throws a lot easier, so it can be really helpful for gaining XP. This adventure effect does also increase the catch rate of Pokemon by 50%, so out of the 2 Kyurem adventure effects, I would recommend this one. This catch rate increase also works with any auto catchers you may be using, so if you can't play the event actively or you don't want to, then you could use an auto catcher with this adventure effect active. So out of all of these, for this Community Day in particular, I would recommend Origin Palkia or White Kyurem's adventure effects. And there are actually some settings you could use to increase the speed of your gameplay and increase the amount of catches you can get. So in the advanced settings, firstly, you can turn on Remember Last Used Pokeball. This is especially helpful when you want to use Great or Ultra Balls instead of Pokeballs to catch Pokemon, because it means each time you encounter another Pokemon, you'll bring out your Great or your Ultra Ball first, so you won't have to navigate the menu to keep swapping to the other Pokeball all the time. You can also select native refresh rate, which will give you smoother gameplay because the refresh rate won't be capped and it will be based on your phone instead of what the game caps it at. This, however, may drain your battery a bit quicker. And as always, you can get a bit of XP and Stardust for taking part in Pokestop showcases, and if you can rank highly, you can get premium items like lucky eggs and star pieces that you can use to get more XP and Stardust. Now, whilst this event is worth playing for the bonuses, is the event Pokemon actually any good? Well, Pawmot doesn't really have much meta relevance as a raid attacker. At its best, it's the 34th best electric type with Spark and Wild Charge. So if you are newer to the game and you don't have any other electric type options, it's not a bad electric type Pokemon to pick up, especially as you will be able to get a lot of candy for it during Community Day. I wouldn't power it up too much though, because your Stardust will be better spent elsewhere. And just before I go through its current Go Battle League ranking and its best PvP IVs, it is worth noting that for Go Battle League, you don't always want 100% IVs on your Pokemon. This is because sometimes you do want a lower attack IV so you can power up the Pokemon more, increasing its defense and HP before it reaches the Battle League CP cap. This leads to a bulkier Pokemon that can take more hits and potentially land more attacks. So for the Great League, Pawmot is ranked 864 with 2 15-15 IVs, and it's ranked 496 in the Ultra League with 0 15-15 IVs. So it isn't currently relevant as a raid attacker or in Go Battle League, even with it getting access to Brick Break. However, it could always get access to different moves at the start of a new season that could better its performance. And in particular, it does have a signature move that is yet to be added to the game called Double Shock, which would have been a nice addition for this Community Day, but either way, this move could help it in the future. And for raid attacking, you do want the 100% IVs. So from research, you are looking for a Pawmi with 272 CP, which is at level 15. From the wild, at the max level of 30, this is without a weather boost, you're looking for 545 CP. And max level with a rainy weather boost at level 35 will be 590 CP. And other than these values I've mentioned, I recommend checking your inventory regularly with a 4-star search to see if you picked up any hundos. It's especially worth doing this before you transfer any. So if you are looking to power up Pawmot in the future, or if you want to be prepared in case it ever becomes meta relevant, you will want as much candy as possible to power it up. And this event is a great time to get that candy. So you can always use peanut berries to increase candy gains, and you can mega evolve a Pokemon that shares a type with the Pokemon you're catching to increase the amount of candy, Candy XL, and XP you get per catch. And as Pawmi is an electric type, you can mega evolve Ampharos, Manectric, or you can revert Kyogre into its primal form because it mimics the rainy weather boost that boosts water, bug, and electric types. types. And remember to pick whichever one you have at max mega level so you can get more candy, XP, and chance for Candy XL. Generally, what I do to get these Pokemon at max mega level is to tag all of the Pokemon I want to increase the mega level on, and then go through them all one by one and mega evolve them all. Then I wait for the cooldown and mega evolve them all again. Even if this does overwrite all of their effects, it's worth doing this unless you know you're going to need them in the immediate future. And remember, it does take 30 days to get a Pokemon to max mega level, and you only get credit for the first time you mega evolve a Pokemon each day. But it's definitely worth doing for the future when you might need these level 3 mega Pokemon. And another tip for Candy is to hold on to all of your Pawmi until the 13th at 6 PM. Then you can transfer them during the Sandygast Spotlight Hour, which has 2 times transfer candy bonus. And remember, to get to level 49 in Pokemon Go, you do need 35 platinum medals, and community days are some of the best events for progressing a lot of these medals. So with Pawmi being an electric type, it's a good chance to work on your platinum rocker medal. With lures lasting for 3 hours, it's a good time to work on your platinum picnicker medal, especially if you play in populated areas, because a lot of people will be catching off of your lure modules. And remember, you will get snapshot photobomb encounters with Pawmi, and these will help progress your platinum cameraman medal. And if you don't know how to get snapshot photobomb encounters, you just have to go to a Pokemon in your inventory or your buddy Pokemon, click on the camera icon and take a picture of the Pokemon. Then on the picture, Pawmi will photobomb it, and when you go back to the overworld map screen, it will spawn at your avatar's location. With the trading bonuses for this event, it's a great time to work on your platinum gentleman and pilot medals. And as only Pawmi will be spawning for 3 hours, and there will be more spawns with all of these lure modules happening, you'll most likely run into more double XS and double XL Pawmi, and this will help you with your jumbo and tiny collector medals. With showcases being available, it's a good chance to work on your showcases star medal if you happen to win, and getting this medal to platinum is the only way to get an encounter with PhD Pikachu. And as field research is always easy to do on community day, it's usually just catch 3 of the featured Pokemon. It can be very helpful with getting your Pokemon Ranger medal, and generally field research is very much well worth doing on community day because it will increase your chance of getting hundos and chundos of the featured Pokemon because of the 10-10-10 IV floor. And with that said, if you do want to know what else is going on in May in Pokemon Go, then I recommend checking out this video on the screen now, and I'll catch you in the next one.